Hey YouTube, Untamed here. So as you see by the title, I just put a deposit down on a 2023 Puppy Dog Feature. Hey buddy. A 2023 Toyota Sequoia TRD Pro. Normally when I buy new vehicles, I just kind of buy them and then I do a video of them in my driveway or at the dealership itself saying, oh, here's the new vehicle. But I figured I'd give you a heads up on this one just because I've called so many dealerships, obviously, for trying to find you guys vehicles. And this one happened to be very, very close by to where I live here in Wyoming. And I was calling for a Tacoma, then I just so happened to ask them, are there any TRD Pros inbound? And I ask that all the time, and I never, ever, ever hear them say a Sequoia. So I figured since it's here in my home state, I would capitalize on this one. So it is at MSRP. And again, for the ones that, I can't even say for the ones I've found. I think there's maybe one, a Solar Octane that was inbound, but the dealership wanted $10,000 over MSRP for it. So the vast majority of them are being wildly marked up if they're available, unfortunately. Right, so that's a sad reality that we're living in. But the more important thing, or I guess the bigger hurdle right now that I've bumped into is so many dealerships, most dealerships have a wait list on them, a huge wait list. We're talking probably like 5 to 10 plus people for a Sequoia TRD Pro. So that has been the biggest obstacle that I've bumped into. So I've almost stopped asking for Sequoias. And again, I shouldn't say and again, but I have been back and forth on the idea of buying a Sequoia. You guys know I don't love the iForce Max. I've test driven one while at Destination Outdoor. I rode it up and down the trails in the northern Georgia mountains. And although it performs phenomenally off-road, as you'd expect, right? It's just, I don't know, there does feel like there's something missing with it. And the iForce Max, I just don't love it. I love the 5.7 liter V8 that we get in here and we get in the last generation Sequoia. But that last generation Sequoia looks like garbage, and I just can never bring myself to pulling the trigger on it. There's a lot to love about it. It's enormous. The previous generation Sequoia has more space. The 5.7 liter V8 is a huge win. I think a big plus. So more space in the interior. I think that's important to know. The turn radius is absolutely phenomenal in that last Sequoia. It almost defies physics. It's kind of like the Tundra, but even a little bit better, if I recall correctly. So I love that about it. The new Sequoia, the turn radius is not as good, not as much space, and of course, you get the twin turbo V6 with the battery strapped behind beneath the rear seats there. So I don't know, there are some pitfalls and trade-offs, but I am excited to get into one, right? So I'm excited to provide you guys with a bunch of content on it, and that's why I'm doing it, right? I want to be able to provide it for you, and not to mention, most importantly, we need it. We need a third row vehicle that can seat our family, our growing family comfortably. You guys know we have baby Untamed number 4 inbound, set to arrive early January, and that puts our family at 6. And well, you're not fitting 6 in here right now. We cram 3 little ones in the back seat of the 4Runner, and it's just not ideal. The 3 little ones fit perfectly in the ginormous back seat of the Tundra, so that's perfect. But in January, come that time frame, we're gonna need that third row. So we considered the GMC Yukon XL, the Ultimate Edition, or the Ultimate, Denali. That was sweet. The price tag's higher. We're talking like 98 or near 100,000. But then again, Sequoia's not that much cheaper than it. I mean, it is wildly expensive. It is just over 80,000 is how much I'm paying for the one I'm getting, which is still great. You won't hear me complain about that because especially right now in today's environment, all of them are marked up. So the fact that I'm getting one at MSRP is a huge win, and I'm super grateful for that. But more specifically, I'm grateful that it's in my backyard, which is awesome. So we're getting it. There's a lot of potential pitfalls to it, but I know we're gonna love it. I know Mrs. Untamed is super excited for it. It is a sleek design. I love the exterior. I love that it's actually proportionate to the rest of the vehicle. Whereas the Tundra, it almost feels a little front heavy, front long with the longer hood, and it doesn't really flow. The body lines don't flow as well into the rear, in my personal opinion. So I talk about that in my other videos, so feel free to check those out. But I figured I'd at least take the minute and just announce it to you guys. We'll be buying a 2023 Toyota Sequoia TRD Pro in ice cap with a red interior, and it's set to be built early December. So we still have a wait period for it. I just put my deposit on it the other day. So we're probably going to be getting it right around the new year, right around that time frame. Some more to follow on it, of course, but I figured I'd at least announce it to you and really get your thoughts. I know some people are all for it, and some people, for good reason, are not about it. But I think it'd be fun to provide that type of content for you guys and walk through it, just an ownership experience. So I'm excited for that part. So let me know what your thoughts are. Appreciate you watching as always. Until next time.